Hello guys, welcome to Unlox'U. I'm Eugenia Nikiforow, the founder of Unlox'U, a place where we give you a mind plan instead of a diet plan, so we can rewire and change your mind, change your brain, so that healthy eating comes naturally and easier to you. This is a very spontaneous video and live, and that's because I had quite a few conversations today and over the last few days as well about people who have tried it all. They've been to Weight Watchers 5-6 times, they've done Jeny Crag, they've done keto, they've done fasting, they've done shakes, pills, whatever there is available. But the problem is, they still end up on a call with me, sharing with me that it's not working. It hasn't worked for them. And one thing that I say is this: why are you treating a sore arm, or why are you treating your arm if your foot is sore? And usually, they kind of don't quite get what I mean by that. It's like, well, do you know what is really causing your difficult relationship with food? Do you know the exact problem? And do you know exactly what you want to then be able to treat exactly that exact one issue? And quite often, to be honest, people don't really know. So they're trying all these different things because their Auntie Joanne tried it, because the neighbor Helen tried it, or they've heard someone else talking about something, or, because they go to the gym. So they try all these different things and then wonder why it doesn't work. That's because you're treating your arm even though your foot is sore. Or like when you go to a mechanic and you would give them your car and say something's wrong with it. They would do an assessment, right? They will try to find out the one specific problem and then fix that. They would not go to all these other parts of the car and try to fix it, because then you would tell them nothing was wrong with it. Why did you try to kind of work on it? And that's exactly what we do with going on these different diets. We're trying to sort something out, hoping that it will help, without knowing the exact one specific or the few issues that are actually the problem. So by going on all these diets like keto diet was developed for kids who have seizures. They just only noticed that people also lose weight on that diet. So now people jump on board on keto diet, hoping that will help them with eating. But what if the eating is actually, let's say, they use food for comfort. They use food when they're stressed. That has nothing to do with keto, because they still have the same problem, which is using food for comfort, which is not probably being able to manage their emotions in a rather better way. Yeah? So it's really, really important to look into what is actually the one or two or the few reasons, and then let's try to treat exactly that. So what I'm going to do today here, I've got I know you won't be able to read this, but these are all sticky notes. But I will be also sharing a free workbook you can download at the end, which is basically a summary of this as well. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 6 out of 8 common reasons that I see that people have when it comes to eating. So what we do is we address those exact reasons. So let's just go through some of them. These are all coming from the experience that I have had working with a lot of clients who are struggling with overeating, binge eating, food cravings, constant thoughts around food, really unhealthy relationship with food. Some people say quite obsessive as well. So number one reason, and I know it's reversed because it's really, the camera's reversed. It says diet here. So I'm just gonna put that out here. It's diet. When I talk about diet, so there are a few things. This is basically, diet is a summary for a few things. One is blood sugar. I think that's coming. Yeah, blood sugar is coming. Let's say diet, we have certain food rules. If the stronger the food rules, the more I'm telling myself what I'm not allowed to have, the more appealing it becomes. That's just the way our brain is wired. If you tell a child you can play with any toys you like apart from this one red truck, well, guess what? What does that child would want to play with? The red truck. And we're exactly the same. Hey, you can eat anything you like. You can have carrots and broccoli and kale, but just apart from sugar and cake and biscuits and all these yummy, yummy, delicious foods, guess what do you want? You would want to have? Well, exactly that food, right? And so the more you're telling yourself you can't have it, the more appealing that will become as well. So that's kind of food rules that we see. Then people not eating adequate amount of calories because maybe they binged or overate in the evening, so they skip their breakfast, they skip maybe even their snack, and then they have only lunch. And then from 4 o'clock onwards, that's when the problem starts. 4 o'clock, they start craving all this sweet food because they're tired, have dinner, and that disaster continues after dinner. Yeah, so maybe say yes if that's the problem in the comments, if that is your problem as well. Yes in the comments. Do you find you start eating and eating and eating nonstop in the evening after dinner or in the afternoon? So that's because maybe you're not eating enough throughout the day. Your body is trying to catch up on those calories, and our brain, our body is smart. It will always get what it needs and what it wants. It will always want to catch up on those calories. So it's really, really important to eat adequate amount of calories and eat regular as well. So not skipping meals, even maybe you overeat in the evening because you don't want to feed that cycle next day, because you promised yesterday evening you're not gonna do it again. Tomorrow will be good, but you're starting the same cycle by again skipping meals maybe, or skipping meals, not eating enough throughout the day. So you are basically just starting that vicious cycle again. So that's diet. Second one, what I have here is blood sugar. So I have actually lots of space here. Blood sugar. Blood sugar, people who eat, rather, let's say, start especially their day with maybe simple carbohydrates, or even things like sugary, maybe a yogurt that's sweet, okay, or cereal that we get from the supermarket. Then maybe you have a muesli bar in the morning, then you have a banana, then you have a sandwich, or sushi for lunch. So all these things, they are spiking your blood sugar. So you go into that blood sugar roller coaster, and then maybe you have like a muffin or something like that in the afternoon, and it continues. Then you come home and have maybe pasta for dinner, okay? So your entire day was very rather carbohydrate heavy. So your diet was not balanced to stabilize your blood sugar. So that will then also contribute to food cravings in the evening, in the afternoon, but especially after dinner, because it's just continuation of blood sugar spikes and drops, and I call it blood sugar dance. The other reason why you might be overeating, constantly thinking about food, worrying about food, is, it says habits. Put them here. Habits. How do we create a habit? By repeating the same behavior over and over and over again. Now think about it. How many years have you been struggling with food? How many years have you been doing the same thing? Eating every time you're stressed, eating every time you're bored, eating every time you want to procrastinate and don't want to do those house chores and end up in the pantry. That is a repetitive behavior over and over and over again. Also, grabbing a plate of food after dinner, sitting in front of TV eating. How many years, how long have you been doing that? Well, these are all habits that you've created. We are a creature of habits. So it's really important to look into habits that are not serving us, not helping us, to break them and then relearn, unlearn, and create new habits, but then also practice it for long enough until these new habits then become your norm, your new reality, something that then comes naturally and automatically to you without consciously needing to think about it. So the way you have created these habits that are currently not working for you, this is how you create the new habits and repeat it over and over and over again until the new ways of doing, eating, feeling, maybe managing your emotions, this is then that's how you create the new habits and then continue repeating those. Okay, so, and that's why when you go and let's say try keto or you go to Weight Watchers, they're not addressing your habits, guys. They are not. They're just giving you, here's a diet plan, do that. You do that for a while. But if let's say you always had this habit of eating every time you're stressed, they're not sorting it out. If you are, let's say, not eating adequate amount of calories, or let's say your blood sugar is spiking, Weight Watchers is not going to help you with that, because even though they give you the points, some people, what they do instead is they're saving their calories throughout the day, so not eating enough throughout the day, and then eat that one piece of cake in the evening. So they're not really teaching you healthy eating habits that way. They're just teaching you basically to fit the points. Okay, is that really healthy? Well, you answer that for yourself. Okay, next one. What I have here is routine. Now, mamas out there, what I hear quite a lot is, for example, kids go to bed and the mama goes, me time. Now I can relax. Go to the kitchen, open the cupboard, see what's yummy in there. Go to the TV, maybe even a glass of wine or something like that, food. Now I can eat, relax. It's part of your routine that you've created. You will be that, and that's something maybe you do without even consciously thinking about it. I am working with a lot of clients who are working these days from home. So since last year COVID lockdown, they're still working quite a lot from home. So then they have now created this routine that every time they are tired, they go to the kitchen because food is there now available. That's part of their routine. They use that as a kind of like a break, right? So again, it's really important to look into what are your routines throughout your life, throughout your day, that you repeat over and over again. Where is food in there that you stop questioning? Again, is Weight Watchers going to help you with that? No, it won't. So that's why it's really important to look into where are the exact issues, so we can then look into that one specific problem and sort it out, and you're good to go. Next one, as I said, that's 6 out of 8. It says emotions here. Emotions. This is rather, yeah, that one is something that probably everyone has experienced. You are stressed, tired, worried, anxious, go to food. Yes, it's something that we learn from very early on. Think about it. When you were a child, maybe you were crying. Your mom maybe gave you a lolly or a biscuit. So very, very early on, we learn how food changes our feelings, how food makes us feel. It makes us feel better for that moment, right? So it's learned behavior. It's something that we have been taught to do from early on, and of course it's ingrained, it's wired in our brain, so it's up to us now to slowly change that. So emotional eating, eating when you are feeling the feelings that you don't like. So in that moment, we basically eat what we eat because we want to change how we feel, because we feel uncomfortable about the way we're feeling. So we want to change it because food does that, right? Food stimulates that reward system in the brain. like drugs, like alcohol, like shopping, like pornography, all these things to make you feel good for that moment. That's why we do that. Now this one here, the 6 out of 8, like I said, emotional attachment. Emotional attachment is maybe there are certain foods that remind you of certain moments in your life, yeah, or certain people in your life. So when you feel lonely, maybe you tend to eat certain biscuits, or you tend to eat certain chocolate, or you tend to bake because you have these beautiful memories of maybe your grandmother or your mom who used to do that. So you, in that moment, you're not really craving the food, you are craving that feeling, that emotion that you connect to that food. So it could be love, it could be like it feels like a hug, it could be the presence of those people. So my parents are not here in New Zealand, they are in Germany. I haven't been able to visit them, as so many people out there, obviously, for over 2 years now because of COVID. So, and it becomes really, really hard for some people. And of course, we are craving that love, we're craving their closeness. And I notice, for example, I am thinking about certain foods to cook that mom usually would cook. And I'm very aware what I'm craving. I'm not craving that food. I'm craving that feeling, that closeness. I'm craving mom, being with mom, or my parents. So that is emotional attachment to that food. So this is when we connect food with those emotions. Another one that I don't have here, as I said, this is 6 out of 8, is body image. So someone who doesn't like their body, or maybe their weight or their shape, and want to change it. Usually we want to obviously manipulate that, and quite often we manipulate it through lots of exercise or through diets, through restrictions, some sort of manipulation of food. And that can then lead to always thinking about food, to always worrying about food. How many calories have I eaten? Have I eaten too much? When was it the last time that I ate? What am I going to eat next time while you're eating that food? Yeah, what I'm going to eat throughout the day. So that is then also something that's causing those constant thoughts and worries and stresses around food. So guys, these are just only 7 out of 8, as I said, typical reasons why we are eating the way we're eating, why we have this certain relationship with food. Now, please, it's something that I get sometimes, I don't know, coming from love and care, angry, okay, seeing so many people struggling for so many years, trying all these different things and nothing works. That's because you're not addressing the actual cause, the actual reason. Please, and then they feel like a failure. You are not a failure. It's just, that's what we get taught. Just go on this diet and then everything will get sorted out. It won't. So please have a look at these things. Have a think about it. I will add a link to a workbook that you can download for free. And that's where I cover all these 8 common reasons and triggers for your worries and your relationship around food. Have a look, download it, get it for free. I talk about what is the reason, and then also give specific suggestions and strategies how to address them. If you feel like, you know what, I'm past this point, I'm past this, constantly learning but not really doing much about it, and I'm really ready to actually get started and do and make those changes and change my brain, rewind my brain so that I can sort all of this out, just then book your call with me, and it's a free call where we will do a proper assessment, go through these in much more detail, also what you want for yourself, and then I'll be able to tell you if I can help you, if this is something that would be suitable for you, and in what way. So again, I'm going to post the link below in the comments as well. So download the workbook, book your call, and I'm looking forward to talking to you very soon. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.